Yo, hey, if you watched that last video on cops and traffic stops, this is the next part in the little series. I left off with Edwards versus California, 314 U.S. 160. The court held squarely that the right to unimpeded movement of persons is guaranteed against oppressive state regulations by the Commerce Clause. You know, back in the old days when I used to be with somebody else, gobble gobble, he kept teaching the right of free travel. And I kept saying, I understand, but the right of free travel is from here to L.A. or L.A. to New York. It's state to state, so they can't stop you at the state line and say, show me your papers. Not your rolling papers. Not rolling papers, okay? I don't do that, by the way, but I've seen people do it. That was a demonstration. I am drug-free. I want to be sober-minded, good as I can be, okay? But your identification, where you're domiciled, or if you happen not to be domiciled and you're a resident, and that gets into regulation, you're really domiciled. Wherever you come from and you intend to go back, or wherever you're going to live for all your life that you're aware of, that's where you're domiciled. Resident is for voting, residence for driver's license, registration, all that stuff. And that has just a ginormous amount of negative connotations to being a resident. Domiciled, being domiciled is where it's at. Anyway, this was to let you know that free movement is the words that the courts are going to sit on. If I go from here to across the street, if I go from here to the next town within the same city or the same county or the same state, I'm within state. And I happen to be traveling from one place to another within state, that's not the bad so-called traffic stop, which is military terminology, traffic stop, okay? And it comes from the military. And it's still military. They're trying to use it in a civilian capacity, which is unlawful. But anyway, y'all know I ain't a doctor, and I ain't a lawyer, and I ain't a judge. I say it and I say it and I say it, but I keep saying it just so somebody will say, oh, a video got out and he didn't say it. Well, everybody knows. I just repeat it, just to let you know. Anyway, here's the deal. That's free movement. That is free movement. So when I'm moving from place to place to place to place, it's free movement. So when the police stop me in my travels, my complaint, my allegation, my claim is going to be they interfered with my free movement. Now, if I'm going here from one state to another state, they're usually going to say, oh, well, you're from Texas, or you're from Alabama, or you're from Tennessee. So now they're questioning your domicile status or your resident status. So they're talking to you about traveling. So you can bring the traveling in, going from state to state, and free movement. In state, it's going to be free movement. I'm not telling you you can't use the logic traveling, because some judges are misinformed and some judges don't know no better, and they buy into this free movement thing that says traveling. So they'll listen to that. So I ain't saying don't put it in. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you, Chief Jones, I would put in free movement and traveling. I claim both. Doesn't hurt. It's just one more claim. You can claim as many claims as you want to, okay? Now, here's another case. Kent versus Dulles. D-U-L-L-E-S, 357 U.S. 116, 1357 U.S. 116. The court asserted that the right to travel is part of the liberty of which the citizen cannot be deprived without due process of law under the Fifth Amendment. Dun, 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 dun. Here's another case. Crandall, Crandall, Crandall versus Nevada, and Edwards versus California. Okay? So what we're trying to tell you is there are several case laws. States have decided these, and the Supreme Courts have decided these. People absolutely cannot be denied free movement. They cannot be denied their liberty without due process. Period. They cannot be stopped, detained, or other things on non-lawful issues. Traffic stop. Okay, a traffic stop is automatically poisonous fruit from the tree. Automatically, because it's a traffic stop. But if you don't claim it, it doesn't exist. And I'm not telling you to take the Fifth Amendment with the police at the window, and I'm not telling you not to. That's up to each individual man or woman. Okay? A lot of times in your area, you will know your police. You will know, if you believe in your mind and heart, that if you have a conversation with them, it's going to end in the best situation for you. Now, here's the thing. Me knowing what I know, I a lot of times do talk to police because I know how to handle myself. Okay? Now, I don't want you to say, oh, he's a hypocrite. He tells us don't talk to the police, and then he talks to the police. Well, if you was a carpenter and you'd been a carpenter for 40 years, and there was some law that carpenters could enforce the law, and you said, listen, take the Fifth and don't talk to carpenters. But you was going to talk to carpenters. I kind of understand that, because you know the ins and outs, and you know how to work the carpenters for the best result. Okay? Sometimes that happens with me with cops. Okay? I've got to assess the situation. What state am I in? How fast does the officer approach me? What's his attitude like? Is he requesting things? Is he demanding things? I look in his eyes. I look at his countenance. I'm a holy man with the Lord. I have discernment. I can register a lot of things. Now, I make mistakes, as y'all know. I make plenty of mistakes, and I give people benefit of the doubt. A lot of times I've been stabbed in my heart by giving somebody a chance, okay? So God said that's going to happen sometimes. They put Jesus up on a cross, you know, the religious crowd, the ones that went by the letter of the law. Their law enforcement of the day put him on the cross. Their religious crowd. They was the government. Anyway, my point, what I'm getting to is, if you're a man or woman and you have a private automobile, they're stopping you under a false assumption that you're a motor vehicle, and under a false assumption that you're in commerce, because at the police academy they lump it together. They don't teach the police, because it doesn't fit the revenue narrative. They don't teach the police, if you see a man or woman and they're in their own automobile, you can't stop them. You know that little truck that says Sears delivery truck or ABC rental service? That's a commercial vehicle. A taxi, that's a commercial vehicle. A bus, a dump truck, a big truck, those are commercial vehicles, okay? So probably about a third of the traffic out there is some sort of Uber, that's commercial, okay? So if you're an Uber, commercial. Taxis, dump trucks, I'm trying to think. Medical supply companies, pharmaceutical companies, pharmaceutical representative, grocery stores, grocery chains that buy company vehicles, and you're in the company vehicle that's under a corporation. Then you would qualify as a motor vehicle. Okay, so then they can. So it ought to be, theoretically, that if the police come up and ask you for stuff, the first question should be, are you in a motor vehicle or a private automobile? How are you operating? And if the person say, this is a private automobile, they should say, okay, thank you, have a good day, and they should get in their car and leave. Perfect job. Perfect. Because they've allowed you a chance to say one word, and that's it. Are you commercial or private? Are you private automobile or commercial vehicle? Or a motor vehicle? Whatever, you know. And as soon as they find out I am non-commercial, I'm private, they say bye and they leave. That's the whole deal. Anything beyond that, no go. No go. Absolutely no go. Okay, this is my second vehicle. This is my second video on this stuff. I'll be back again on another one. Pull my finger. Hey, I'll pull my own finger. Y'all couldn't hear that. Be back in a little bit with more videos.